Good morning and welcome. I'm Laura Topper and I'm here on this amazing broadcast network, New Thought Media Network, with my show, which I bring to you every Tuesday and every Friday at around this time. So hi and welcome. The show is devoted to spiritual awakening and aligning our awakenings and being present to what is happening in that process of awakening so that we can be a fuller vessel, a fuller being of light, a fuller, have a greater impact through our awakening with what it is that we're called to deliver, who it is we're called to serve, how it is we're called to show up. And very often we think that if we're having this spiritual awakening, which by the way is an ongoing thing, it's not something that starts and stops, that this is simply, it's something that's happening for us. Well, it is happening for us. And it is our own personal awakening. And yet with it comes a responsibility. And that responsibility is to understand it, to work with it, to grow with it, to grow through it, and then to be that beam of light that can radiate for others to understand who they are. And that's what happened for me when I was... you can't hear me. Thank you for telling me. Let me check my microphone. Let me check my audio. 1, 2, 1, 2. I am coming through loud and clear. My mic is working, so you should be able to hear me. Let me check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe that's better. Should be able to hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up. Is that a thumbs up saying it's all okay? And I was beginning by saying that, when we awaken, this comes with a responsibility for us, a personal responsibility to take charge of our lives, to understand who we are. Maybe it's on your end. Yeah, I think it's on your end because I know that it's coming through loud and clear here. I'm getting the signal that my microphone is actually working and activated into my computer. And everything is on. So check your end, check to see if it's working for you. And I will continue because at some point you will hear this on a playback. So what is the legacy of this awakening? Now, by awakening, coming in fine for you on Facebook in Colorado. Great. Hi, Linda. I love this. It's kind of like, oh, okay. The signal of love connects us. Yes, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I haven't really said much today, but there we go. There's my signal of love coming through. Stick that on there. And the sun's come out. And I'm talking about awakening into our legacy. This is it. When we have these incredible awakenings that happen, rebirths, epiphanies, spontaneous kind of bursts, where we shift from not only one state of being to another, one stage of consciousness to another. We see the light. We're kind of, oh my word, everything is just completely at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20D. And then we come back into this 3D. We land here and it's like, oh, okay, what am I to do with this? Well, that's a whole other video. The thing is, I believe that what we're really to do with it is to work through it, to understand it, to take time with it, to give it respect, and to acknowledge what we're going through, rather than trying to push it aside because it's not comfortable, because the aftermath of the awakening is not comfortable, and it's not meant to be comfortable, and it will send a huge new frequency, vibrational ripple through your life, as you know, and so much will change. and it will have to change because the old will have to crumble, and then this newness, this new paradigm that you experience, maybe only momentarily, and yet it is an eternal experience. When you have these experiences, we're then being called to live in a different way, to understand who we are from a different perspective, and to go with that, and to be the legacy of that. And that comes with, a set of responsibilities. I don't really use that word very much, but it's like taking responsibility for our own lives to begin with, and then really sitting with, well, what is this for me, and how can I use this experience to share it with others, to allow others to see that, first of all, if what they're going through is actually it, they're not going crazy. You're not going crazy. This is something that is really a physiological experience, and it is a mentally grounding experience and a spiritually expansive experience. And second of all, that we can serve with this to show people how they can also live their best, most fulfilled, most prosperous, most peace-filled lives. And the legacy really is to be lived in the now. It is not something that we're building to create so that we leave it for when we're, so-called not here, because we're always here. And yet when we're not here in the physical, in the same physical experience, the legacy is for right now. So we're called to bring it right in, to do what we can with it in the moment, to honor it, to learn through it, to grow with it, to surrender to it, to accept this awakening that is happening, and to then allow ourselves to be the guide and the teacher of this experience for others. Does that make any sense to anyone that's listening? Taking the resistance that we've walked through and showing others it's possible. There we go. Thank you for saying this. Thank you for saying this, because I see these experiences as almost like being handed the baton or the golden orb, if you like. It's like, here you are, you take this, you have this experience, and we're living in, we're living in a creative universe. The creative law is working at all times. We know this. This is the law of cause and effect, the law of reciprocation. So as with anything in our experience of life, and as Ernest Holmes knew this and taught this, that when we are in the flow of this, then we become the greatest version of who we are, and we expand in our mental equivalent, in our capacity to take in life and to live a great life. So these experiences are not separate from us, and they're kind of contained away somewhere, and, oh yes, I'm really spiritual now because this has happened. It's more like, oh my word, this has happened, and now it's up to me to pass that golden orb on to others so that they can get a glimmer of this for themselves. Oh, thank you. That I always make sense. Well, can I quote you on that? For when I'm having a disagreement with Jason on something, can I quote you and I can say, well, someone told me I always make sense. I don't know who you are because I can't see your name on the StreamYard thing. It comes through. Unless you like this through StreamYard, your name won't come up. So anyway, this is brilliant. So let's take a breath here. Quote again. I need all of the beautiful quotes that I can have so that I can feel like, yeah, I'm not going crazy on a Friday morning. The reason I wanted to verbalize this and to bring this forwards is because I believe that we are all awakening. Every single one of us is awakening in every single moment. The thing is, we don't always accept or acknowledge this awakening, and it doesn't have to be an earth-shattering kind of volcanic experience. It can be very subtle. I've had many ahas, deep, deep insights that have shifted my awareness of oneness and reality. And they've been very quiet, placid, kind of, oh my word, it's like a wash has come over me where some realization has cleared away this veil that was never even really there. And I've realized something and it's changed it again for me. And yet then I've had the really like earth-shattering the experience in the labyrinth that just, phew, that was it. Then I really did think I was going crazy. But it doesn't have to be like that. And I believe that when we have these experiences, we're being given this incredible gift. It's like, there lies the prosperity for our lives, because we have this opening, this access to a deeper understanding of who we are. Now, along with that comes a lot of pain, can be pain, because we will naturally resonate on a different frequency from others that may have or are in our lives. And that creates a kind of, feels like a gap between us. And yet it isn't. It's showing us our growth and it's showing us our new understanding. And if we're not resonating, then we have to be willing to accept that and to move through that. And to, I love that quote. I saw it the other day on an Instagram. I was just flicking through and I saw it, and it's be like water. That be like water. It's just so powerful because it's such a reminder to actually be in the moment and come away from trying to resist, wanting to resist everything. When we're going through an awakening, I think that quote, be like water, is so powerful because it's just surrender to what is going on and love yourself in the moment. And there you are living the legacy of this awakening and aligning to it rather than trying to fight it, resist it, push it away, try and make it something different, try and make it all good. Because in the moment when it's happening, it's euphoric. It's like really euphoric, and it's a very deep, beautiful experience. And the ripple of it will continue. It will continue for me. It's continued for 9 years. It doesn't stop. I'm still in the labyrinth. I'm still in the midst of the labyrinth, and I can feel it still. I can feel the experience. And there are times where I feel it and it's really deep, and there are times where it's just like a shadow, and yet it's there. And I feel that I'm still continuing to walk the labyrinth, even though I'm not in it. It's like this template that I'm still walking, and in and out, and sometimes in the heart, and sometimes on the outer edge, and sometimes in the middle, and sometimes going back on myself and not really knowing where I am. And this is the beauty of this life, is that it's not linear. It's a spontaneous, it's a cyclical, and we go back and we revisit. Where I'm coming to though is that this is not always easy, and it is, we're having to face our fears, to face our beliefs, to face our points of view, to look at our lives, to be like water, is be in the flow of this experience. It is never ending. It is eternal. We take this experience with us when we transition and we transmute into the next plane. This experience, this rebirthing, this spontaneous awakening, whatever it is you want to call it, that you are having, will go with you, and your soul knows it, and you cannot get rid of it. And you're being called upon to live this legacy by shining the light of this and being the teacher that you are. And you will have an amazing calling on your heart, and you know why you're here. And when we awaken, we go into kind of high speed, gotta get it done. But that's not always helpful, because we then really do go running around in circles. You know why you're here, and you have a mandate, and it's yours to fulfill. And the beauty of this is that it may not always feel like it's clear, that there's clarity on knowing what that mandate is. And so you have to sit, or you're invited to sit with yourself and open up to what is being, you are being called to do, to make a difference here, to live your legacy here, right now, on this planet that we call home, that is being treated by many people as if it's just some kind of, disposable, materialistic. Well, it is materialistic, and yet it's being treated as if, with no regard, no respect. And we're living through these experiences right now, seeing things, hearing things, knowing what's happening, let alone, the ecosystem and COVID and everything that's happening on our planet. And people are getting angrier and angrier because, of course, we're upset when we know and we can see it differently. So you have a calling, and your legacy is right now to delve into that calling, that mandate, and to live it, and to show others another way. To show others another way. Yes, destiny is calling. Love it. There we go. You know what? That's a brilliant name. That's a brilliant name for a song. Can I pinch that? I'm writing it down. Destiny is calling. So this legacy that we are living, that has thank you. I have permission. This legacy that we are living through, or that is breathing through us, really, it's our job. We've got only one job here right now. We all think we've got millions of jobs to do, and we've got to be running around like crazy people trying to get all this stuff done. Our job is to deeply delve into the nature of who we are, first of all, of the experience that's happening for you, this spiritual experience of waking up, which is so beautiful. It is a sweet and sour. It really is. That's how I describe it, because there's the sweetness of the experience, and then there is the sour of the heartache, of the healing, the grieving, of the accepting the newness of this, and what has to be released along the way. And life will push you to do that release, whether it's physical, emotional, mental. Life will push us to let go and to learn to live lighter, to learn to live with fewer possessions and with less baggage, and to do that forgiveness and the healing for our lives, so that we have this clear path to move forwards with this new legacy, this mandate that is written on your heart right now. And if you're hiding away with that, then I say, it doesn't mean you have to come out on YouTube and start, because the law works in the most incredible of ways. Once we set an intention and we feel it, and we beyond believe it, we know it in our hearts, we absolutely, oh my gosh, this is who I am and what I'm here for, then mountains will be moved. Maybe without you even having to go online and do all of this stuff. I like doing this. I'm just saying that this is great, because it's a great way of communicating and getting our message through. And yet, this isn't the be all and end all. Your consciousness and your awareness of your consciousness is what truly, truly matters. And you know, as Abraham states, I love Esther Hicks. She says it so clearly and, you know, without using the word God. And although I use the word God, I know I love her and what she does, what Esther does, and Abraham. And what they say, you know, the only job is our vibration, is our frequency, is to be, that is the job, is to be the monitor of that. So when we have these amazing spiritual experiences, we are on another level. I mean, we're like on another high. And this is a natural high. And this is not, you know, maybe not because you've taken an awakening drug, or this is like, this happens spontaneously. And it's like, I see the light. And we have these experiences and we are kind of like, oh my gosh, it's like there's no separation anywhere in our own knowing, in our being, in our understanding of it. And yet then when we start infiltrating and aligning ourselves into 3D, we can get sucked back in, of course, because we're in a big mass consciousness pattern here of fear, and what we've been taught, how we've been taught it is in the way, in the matrix kind of way. So our work is to stay in that light, the light of love, the light, the radiance, the illumination that's coming through your heart right now from that awakening. The work is to stay there and to live from that place, regardless of what's going on and what you're seeing and what you're experiencing, to stay in that light and beam it out. Beam me up, Scotty. That's the work. And that's your legacy. That's our legacy. And we can be in that place and we can love it and we can live a very fulfilled life from that place. That's what we're being called to do, to live this legacy right now and to shine this out so others can feel it. And then we're doing this work in the really beautiful way, in consciousness. Yeah. This is great. I love being here and I love it that there's this kind of interaction. And take this with you, you know, take this away with you. And if you, I know you have insights, and please share your insights here, because I'm not the only one that you know is going through this experience or has gone through this experience. You have your own experiences too, which are extremely valuable, and you have much to share and to teach and to inspire people with. So if you have any insights and anything you'd like to share, please put it here. This is like I see this as a really reciprocal process of a conversation, that I want it to be this kind of, you know, openness, so you feel you can also share your experience here if you like. So we're on New Thought Media Network, which is an incredible broadcasting platform ministry, which allows people like me to show up and share and shine out and teach. And it's a fantastic place because there's all sorts of different broadcasts. After this, we have Rev Melissa with Morning Sip, Spirituality in Practice. I think that's what it stands for, which is great. I love her energy. And there's a continuum of all sorts of shows during the week. So like this page, you know, share it with your Facebook friends, with your other friends. Like the YouTube channel and be connected to it. There's also a love offering link down below that you can give, be a part of that reciprocal process into this broadcasting ministry, so that you then feel like, yeah, I'm a part of this and I love it, because we give back to where we are spiritually fed and nourished. And what is it? You know, I'm going to leave you with this question for yourself. You know, how can you be more? Here we go. For my question. For years, I didn't really know why I was here until a co-worker in a locker room told me, your purpose is to make people feel better. It was so simple and such an awakening. You know, isn't it incredible how somebody can say something in such a simplified way? Like, we pay hundreds and hundreds to go to coaches and mentors and groups and all of this, and thousands of pounds and all of this to hear the wisdom and travel to retreats and all of it. And yet, when we're ready to hear it, it can be a co-worker or somebody that, just like seems like it's out of the blue, or we hear something just in a queue standing there and it's like someone says a gem and we're just standing there listening to it. And it's amazing when we're ready to receive how these things come through, these truths come through. And I think that is so perfect. Your purpose, our purpose, is to make people feel better. And of course, we have to be in that place first, because we don't want to be doing that from an empty cup. We want to be the overflow, so that when we do get that connection, when we do connect with people, they can see that it's like, yeah, this is not because this person is drained and it's like, oh, have I got to do this again? It's like, this is for real. There's an overflow oozing. And it's a whole different thing. And then that's when people resonate to us and they see it. And it's like, yeah, just that alone can spark somebody. A teapot overflowing. Oh, that's really sweet. Yes, a teapot overflowing. We want to be teapots overflowing constantly. And that is an awakening. When we hear these things, they can shift the way we see our experience. I heard one the other day. I'm going to share it with you. I was at the I've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I was at the Centers for Spiritual Living practitioner retreat a couple of weekends ago. It's just for practitioners, and I was on there and listening, and there was an amazing practitioner there from Agape, and she was talking, and she gave a talk, and she said, our purpose also is not to be successful. It's to be useful. That one got me. And I think that's the same as when you heard this from your co-worker, to make people, it's like, we're here to be of use. It doesn't mean we have to be a success. It just means we're useful. We're already a success. We're already successful. We're born. We're here. We're breathing. We're living it. So, yes, our mandate, our legacy is to allow people to feel the greatness of who they are, to be of use, and to live the awakening, and to go through the awakening with so much love for ourselves. Love that so much. It's amazing, isn't it? The things that we hear that are just, I love this one, a teapot overflowing. Thank you. You've lifted my day, my life here with all of these amazing things that you're saying. I am going to leave now because I have to, because it's like 30 minutes and then Rev Melissa comes in, and we don't cross over shows here on New Thought Media Network. So love and blessings to you. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. I will be back here same time next Tuesday. If there's anything you want to talk about, just send me a DM and we can talk about that next week. And also check out my YouTube channel. You can like that, and my website also, and you can see more about the mentoring membership mastermind group that I have, that is specifically for this and for you bringing your purpose into this life. Thank you for being here, and love, blessings, and have an amazing rest of the day. Bye.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.